All right, so this is a video on how to do this reading guide, which we will talk about in class, depending on when you have class, if you're A or B. But this is how you do the reading guide. So if you read the instructions, it says, focus on each character and their point of view of the following sections. You must have at least 2 things per section. Include page numbers, which is in all caps. And then here's your video, obviously. So, based on those instructions, I just kind of want to explain this. The first thing I just want to point out is there's going to be 2 parts to this reading guide since our book is split up into 6 sections. So there are 2 parts to the reading guide, and one part will be due when we're about halfway through the book, and the other part will be due when the book is finished. But again, these sections correlate with due dates and the sections we are splitting the book up into. So this first section, this first page of the reading guide, is based on pages 1 through 49 in the book. So you should only be including things that happen on pages 1 through 49 in Legend on this first page. Let's go through this section by section so you know what this is. So think of it kind of like a big T-chart. On the left side, you're going to be talking about things that happen in Day's point of view, things that he thinks, and then on the right side, you will be writing about and including things from June's point of view. The book is written in the 2 characters' point of view, so it should be fairly simple to do so. So the first thing that you need to find some examples from this section is view of the setting. So how does Day and how does June, how do they view the setting? Do they view the setting as good, bad, gross, fair, unfair? Do they like where they live? Are they surrounded by nice things? Do they live in a poor sector, poor area? What's the atmosphere of where they live? What type of people live where they are? Is it pristine and fancy? Is it run down and gross? So how does your character view the setting? Think back to our last essay, Most Dangerous Game. You had to do almost the same thing. So for Day's point of view, maybe you want to add bullet points, or maybe not. It's totally up to you, but you just need to have 2 things on this left side. So 2 things that happen in these first 49 pages that show Day's point of view of the setting. Page numbers are essential on this. You will lose points if you do not have page numbers. Also, this essay, you are going to be using real quotes from the book. We're going to learn how to do proper in-text citations. So you need to have accurate page numbers because it's going to be really hard and it's going to cost you a ton of time later if you don't have accurate stuff. So 2 things for Day. How does he view the setting? And then in June's point of view, same thing. Both of our characters are in super different settings in this beginning part of the book. That'll change, obviously, as the book goes on. This next section, how does Day view June, and how does June view Day? So it's kind of just like our Most Dangerous Game essay again, but with our new characters. So again, this second section is, how does each character view the other main character? What does Day think of June? What does June think of Day? This beginning section's a little tough because they don't interact a ton. But try your best, or maybe what does Day think of people like June? Or what does June think of people like Day for this beginning section? Because again, they're not going to really meet up until later. This section will be a lot easier in the other parts of this reading guide. But, so then you have 2 left, so you have 2 sort of themes that you need to describe your character's viewpoint on, or both characters' viewpoints on, I should say. So the first one is the theme of rebellion versus authority. So how does each character view rebellion and authority? So what are some moments from this section that show how Day views authority or rebellion? Does he think authority is a good thing? Does he trust the government? How does he see people rebelling? Is that a good or a bad thing? Or maybe what are ways that he rebels in this section? Or what are some ways that he adheres to or does not adhere to authority? And then same thing for June. What does June think of people who rebel? What does June think about law and order, about the government, about authority? What are some things that happen in this section that show her viewpoint? And then the last section of this reading guide is on another theme, which is wealthy and poor. One of our characters is going to grow up super poor, and that's going to impact them, and one of our characters is super rich, and that impacts them as well. So, how does each character view wealthy and poor people and how they are treated? So, what are some things that happen in this first 49 pages that show your character's viewpoint on the differences in how wealthy and poor people are treated in this society? So that's the reading guide. It's 4 sections. So like overall, you should have 2 things here with page numbers, 2 things here with page numbers, and so forth. So total, you will have, I'm trying to do math quick, 4, 8, 12, 16. You'll have 16 kind of bullet points or things from this first 49 pages. And then as you continue to move through on this next section, you will have more. There's multiple ways you can do this reading guide. I like to, while I'm reading, jot things down and add page numbers just because it's easier. Some people like to do this afterwards, so they'll read the section, and then they'll go back through and skim the section and do page numbers and data points. But just do this well. Really like try hard on the reading guide because it's going to help you when you write your essay. If you have accurate page numbers, if you have good moments from the book to include, it's going to make your life a lot easier when you go to do your essay. Let me know if you have questions, but else that's your instructions video for the reading guide. And this first section, or this first part of the reading guide, has 3 pages, so it's the first half of the book.